On today's episode of the Toledo Rockets podcast, we are going to take a look at the latest news for both football and basketball. Thank you for joining me today. And first of all, we're going to get started looking at football. So, first of all, congratulations to sophomore defensive back Quinyon Mitchell for being named Walter Camp Second Team All-American. He is the first player from Toledo to be named a Walter Camp All-American since Eric Page back in 2010. So Mitchell led the nation in passes defended with 25. He had 20 pass breakups, 5 interceptions. 2 of those were returned for touchdowns. His 20 pass breakups is the all-time single-season record at Toledo. Toledo head coach Jason Candle had this to say about Mitchell. Having him out there on the boundary corner and knowing that he can lock down his man makes it much easier for the rest of the defense to do their jobs. And, that's very true. Whenever you have a lockdown corner like that, you can put your safeties into more blitz packages, run blitzes, and so forth to put pressure on the other team, their quarterback. Again, run blitzes, to stop the run and so forth. So having a guy like Mitchell out there makes it a lot easier to do those kinds of things and gives the defense some flexibility. Mitchell, the sophomore this year, like I said, he had 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. They were both in the same game. Actually, 4 of his 5 interceptions came in the same game. That was against Northern Illinois. 20 pass breakups, the single season record for Toledo. The previous record was Samuel Womack just last season, I believe that was. And then 25 passes defended this year, led the nation. So just a great job this year by Mitchell, and it's going to be interesting to see how much he grows as he's going to be a junior next year. This is a guy that wasn't recruited very heavily out of high school. Toledo saw him at a camp down in Florida, and it was just a great situation for the Rockets to get in and get on Mitchell, get him recruited here, committed and signed. And he's, he played well as a freshman, and this year he played great. So looking forward to see what he's going to be able to do next year. Now, the other news here that's football related is about a commitment out of the transfer portal. So first of all, let me say that I'm recording this episode Monday night on December 12th for Tuesday mornings to go live Tuesday morning. And earlier on Monday, Toledo received a commitment from defensive lineman Travion Ford out of Missouri in the SEC. He was listed as a redshirt freshman this year, so he'll be considered a sophomore next year. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining. 6'2", 259 pounds. He played in just 1 game in 2021, and that was, I believe, their opening game. He recorded 2 tackles, and then he missed the rest of the season with an injury and redshirted. Couldn't find a whole lot of information about 2022, but it looked like he either didn't play or did not play very much. Did not record any tackles or stats for the 2022 season. So it's unclear how much he actually played. He did enter the transfer portal, of course, right away on the 5th. He actually announced that he was going to transfer on November 29th, and then on December 5th, he officially entered the portal when it was the first day that it opened up. And he had a few different schools he was looking at. One of them was Mississippi State. So he selected Toledo over Mississippi State. I believe another one was Temple, and there might have been another school in there. He is a great prospect for Toledo to bring in. Obviously, he's committed at this point, so not officially on the team yet. Hopefully, we'll get news here. I think the signing day is just coming up. I don't have the exact date, but I think it's coming up here in the next few days, or maybe it's about a week from now, that players can start signing the NLI contract with teams. But let's look at him a little bit here. His hometown is St. Louis, Missouri. He was a four-star prospect coming out of high school when he signed with Missouri. And he signed for Missouri over reported offers from Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, among others. Um, those are some pretty good schools, four-star prospect. He definitely had the potential coming into his college career. 2021 season was pretty much derailed with the injury, and then not really sure what happened here in 2022. Just couldn't find a lot of information, but he's definitely a player that has the potential to come into Toledo and play right away. And I think that's a good thing. Toledo has Dejuan Johnson and Nate Givan, who are seniors this year on the defensive line. And obviously, they got one more game left in the bowl game, Booker Tom Bowl, and then they're going to be gone. So those are two starters on the defensive line that Ford has the potential to step into one of those positions. I think he's more than likely to be more of the edge than right in the middle, like Johnson was. But it'll be interesting to see where he gets plugged into. I will say it's good to get some news about someone coming out of the portal transferring to Toledo that has maybe not so much experience in games, but at least has collegiate experience in terms of practicing, being in the weight program for a couple years and so forth. It's not somebody on the offensive line, which I really want to see, but getting somebody on the defensive line, that was one of the positions that I think could really be improved as well through the transfer portal. Definitely still, though, I think the priority has to be offensive line. That has to be a big priority. Bringing in, I still think at least two good, solid players that have experience through the portal, transfer portal. So hopefully we'll get some good news there soon. All right, so we're gonna switch over now to women's basketball, and the Rockets basketball team followed up a big win at Michigan with a 57-45 victory over Dayton. This pushed their record to 8-2 on the season. Kara Goss led the team with 16 points, and she was a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. And Quenisha Lockett also scored in double figures with 10 points. Not quite as well-rounded balance in scoring. It was a lower scoring game, 57 points, but used to seeing 4 or 5 Rockets in double figures, and we only had 2 in this game. But the shooting also was down. The Rockets shot around, I think it was 32% from the field, and so did Dayton. So it was not a very clean game shooting. Dayton did have a lot of turnovers that Toledo took advantage of, scored a lot of points off turnovers, and that was a big piece of the game as well. And then Toledo shot pretty well from the foul line. But this team, they keep rolling. They're 8-2 now on the season. They're going to host Oakland on December 21st in Savage Arena. And that is the last game before opening conference play. The first game will be January 4th. And that'll be a home game in Savage Arena against Western Michigan. So right now, 8-2, Oakland definitely a team that we should be able to beat. So we could potentially be 9-2 going into the conference. And again, this is a very solid women's basketball team that Toledo has. Trisha Cullip has done a great job of getting this team going. We returned most of the players back from last year's team. So really looking forward to watching this team as they get into conference play. All right. We're going to switch over now to men's basketball, and I'm going to be doing a full segment on the UT men's basketball team here coming up very soon, probably for tomorrow's show, actually. But just a quick update. They won on Saturday over Canisius 69-68, and they improved to 7-3 now on the season. They've been playing pretty well. They will play at Marshall this Saturday. And I think, like I said, probably tomorrow's show or maybe the day after, we'll have another segment where we're going to just talk about the UT men's basketball team, how the season's been going, um, who's been playing well. And um, I can say right now, JT Shumate has been playing great. I think he's averaging like 19 points per game. Um, I think in this game against Canisius, Ray J. Dennis had a really good game. I think he led the team in scoring. So we'll talk more about them here in the next day or two. Um, I think that's pretty much the update today that I wanted to give. Kind of a bit of a brief, update, just quick things that are going on. Of course, football, we're getting closer to the Boca Raton Bowl. It's December 12th as I'm recording this. This will come out live tomorrow morning on Tuesday morning, December 13th. That'll put us a week out from the Boca Raton Bowl. The Rockets will take on Liberty. And women's basketball, like I said, they're 8-2 right now, getting close to the conference play, which starts in January. So we got one more game here, December 21st, so the day after the Boca Raton Bowl. And then for the men's basketball team, again, I got this preview that's going to be coming out, but they're playing great this year too. They're 7-3. They've had a couple of games that you kind of wonder really why they played the way they did and thought maybe they should have won or played better. But they've also had some games that they've played really, really well in. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And I think when you look at it, all three, the football team, the women's basketball team, the men's basketball team, all three of them have been playing really good. You look at last year, the men's and women's team both won regular season MAC titles. This year, the football team has already won the MAC championship game and playing in a bowl game again. And the women's and men's team, again, they look good this year and could repeat. So, very exciting times, I think, in Rocket sports right now. All right. So that's going to be the end of the episode today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys again soon.